Hey everyone, this is an unboxing, so I'll just tell you that right now, or unpackaging should I say. Um, First off, I just kind of wanted to show you a little bit of an update on the work that I did on this guy. This one is the Larry Flanders and Clark knife that I've been working on. Managed to get all the rust off. There is a little bit of pitting going on that I'm gonna have to work a lot more at. This blade is extremely hard to get to. I haven't started working on this one yet, so I mean just a little bit of a comparison. But so far the steel has been extremely hard, so having kind of an issue with it as far as getting it sanded down and everything. So still got some on the back as well as on the swedges. Got a little bit of work left to do on that, but here's the wood that's been getting worked on. I did manage to get most of the pitting, denting out. Still got, this one right here, that one right there, scratch right there, and one little dent right there. This front side, I guess I do have one right there. That's a chip out of the wood, so that's going to be almost impossible. But have been able to do a little bit of work on that so far this weekend, so probably won't get to it this week. It's probably going to be a very busy week again. Usually during the winter time I'm extremely busy, so that'll be very difficult to get around to. Also identified who this guy was. Did a little tiny amount of work. The little insignia that's on here is what's called a king cutter. So it's a king cutter symbol. It's kind of like a prism type triangle with a bar kind of going through it. So that's gonna be a pretty nice knife considering the fact that how old it is. So let's go ahead and get on to this one. Very excited about this one. This one's pretty much worth quite a bit of money with its age and with the shape that it was looking like it was in on the internet. So it's very difficult to tell on the internet what shape something's in unless if they have extremely good pictures of it. But this puppy's supposed to be in pretty good shape. So let's see here. Sorry guys, shaking you around a little bit there. Let's see if I can get to that guy now. Wow, this is really well packaged, thank goodness. I always like knives when they're really well packaged because that means that they haven't been beat up on their way over or anything like that, so hopefully I won't cut too deep. Taking you guys out of the picture there. Wow, and then he's got even more packaging going on here. Excellent packaging. So, I don't know if you guys can see, but this is from the same customer that I bought this one from. It had the same kind of tag slip inside of the blade itself. Identifying which lot number it was for them. Now this one has, as you guys can see, it has buffalo horn scales, just like my most recently purchased Shat & Morgan, and look at that, excellent half stop. Excellent snap. And whoa, I can't even get that guy out. I just about took my nail straight clean off there. Let's see if I can get to it here. Wow, that thing's got a super strong snap to it. Holy cow. That thing's got a stronger spring than, I mean, look at that. Stronger spring than my GECs do. Holy cow. That thing's incredible. Now the back spacing, I don't know if you guys can see that. That back spring is like indented almost. Instead of like this side where it's flush, this one, the mainspring is like indented. It's like going inward into the handle. So, we'll just get on to the name. This one is an EC Simmons. Kind of hard to tell, but it does say EC Simmons, out of St. Louis. Now, give me a second here. EC Simmons was a company that was basically built before King Cutter. Let me see if I could find it here. Simmons, Edward Campbell Simmons Hardware Company. It basically was King Cutter chip away. Let's see here. These knives were made in between 1868 and 1960. The Incorporated was in 1874. It merged with Winchester in 1922. Sold to Shapley Hardware in 1940. And 1,922 branches at Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Sioux City, Iowa, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Wichita, Kansas, and Toledo, Ohio. Now, whenever you find one of these EC Simmons hardware companies, Edward Campbell, these have a very, very high value if they're in good shape. Even if they're in bad shape. King Cutter is a very well-known knife making manufacturing company. EC Simmons is the originating company from that, from the King Cutter. So a lot of times you'll see EC Simmons King Cutter on the knife. If you found one of those, then it's a more recent addition. If it's just EC Simmons, then that's the original manufacturer of the knife company. And as you guys can see, there's no King Cutter on here, so this is an extremely old knife. It doesn't look... There is the possibility that somebody probably might have taken this, cleaned it, done what I am currently doing to these guys, or to this one, and what I'll be doing to this one, and what I did to this one. I'm not sure of the likelihood on that. It could have been a rebuild. You never really actually know, you know, with the amount of work that gets put in on some of these. But with the actual blade itself looking like it was barely ever used, if ever used, the likelihood of this being a rebuild is pretty unlikely. As you can see, that's something new that I've never seen before. Once again, all I get is like 3 pictures or 3 photographs of this. So when I purchase it, kind of like this one. But this one, as you guys can see, that back spring actually extends all the way through to the front of the blade for the actual penknife itself. So the penknife just kind of comes, since it's a shorter blade, it doesn't necessarily need all that extending area. That's pretty cool. I actually really like that whole idea behind it. The blade feels very sharp. Not very, very sharp, but it feels sharp enough that it could definitely cut. There's some very slight patina marks. See if I can get my cleaning rag here. Polish this guy up a little bit. Yeah, there is a possibility somebody cleaned this blade. Those are pittings. It's not a patina, it's an actual pit. Because if you guys can see the way that it kind of indents on the left hand side over here where the camera edge goes, instead of being smooth, it kind of dimples in. That's a pit. Made primarily from rust. Even though it feels real smoothed out. So somebody probably did put some work in on these blades. They probably had a polishing machine and spent a lot of time cleaning this puppy up. Now, even though it has been completely refinished, that doesn't take away from the value of the actual knife. It actually improves it since it is so old. Even though it's been refinished, it still has the original blades. It's been cleaned up. It's had the pitting that's on it stopped. All the rust that started on it stopped. And considering the fact that this, if somebody did do work on it, the fact that the name stamps are still very full. There's a better picture of EC instead of that one. That one's kind of got some rust to it. Since they are still so full, that this person most likely did not do very much work on it at all. In my eyes, it's looking as though that nobody really did do any work to it, unless of course if they added a much larger spring to this back. I mean, it's kind of hard to show, but there's a little bit of an idea of that back spacer or that back spring, the way that it dips in right there. Just how much basically the possibility that somebody might have added a new spring to it, taken it apart, repinned it and everything else. I'm not sure. I would have to look at it through, not through the viewfinder, but up close to find out. It's got nickel silver pins, nickel silver shield, nickel silver bolsters, and then it does have the typical brass liners. Excuse me, guys. But all in all, I'm very satisfied with my purchase. This did cost me quite a penny, but in the value over the time that I've seen these go for, since I've started watching and everything, something that's in this good of shape, I actually got really lucky because I got a phenomenal price on it in comparison to what I've seen some of the other ones go for. Typically around $300-400 bucks. So I got pretty well off on that one. It's in excellent shape. These buffalo horn handles are just gorgeous. I don't know if you guys could really tell. It's not the typical like white inside of the bone. It's more of a bronzish color, kind of more like the background color actually. But it is a buffalo horn. I can tell you that much. You guys can see the way the horn lines kind of go. You'd almost think that it was wood, but it's not wood. So that's just amazing how well in shape this thing is. I mean, this knife was probably from the late 1800s to early 1900s. Probably I'd have to actually go onto the forums and see if I could get somebody to age this for me, but I'll actually have to do more research on it to actually find out. But for such an old blade, that thing is in phenomenal shape. Excellent blade snap on both of the blades, as you guys saw. I mean, that thing's got a heavy back spring. So I'm running out of time. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and have a good night.